Let's continue our discussion of teen dating abuse and teen dating violence. Do you remember the equality wheel from the healthy relationships section, or the second video? Here we have the power and control wheel. So the equality wheel was healthy behaviors and positive things that we would typically expect to see happening in a healthy relationship. Here listed are some common tactics that somebody might try to use to gain power and control over a dating partner in an unhealthy relationship. So let's take a look at some of these behaviors. Let's start with anger and emotional abuse. A lot of these are going to be things that we looked at when we looked at those different types of violence. But these are some common behaviors that we might see, common specific behaviors. So anger and emotional abuse, putting their partner down, making them feel bad, name-calling, humiliating, or embarrassing them. Using social status, so defining gender roles or making decisions or deciding or determining what their partner can and can't do based on their gender. Using intimidation, so scaring them, intimidating them, or threatening them. It can also include being very frightening or aggressive by smashing or destroying items. It can even include harming pets in order to try to scare or hurt their partner. Minimizing, denying, and blaming. So minimizing the abuse, saying it didn't actually happen, trying to put the blame on the other person, on their partner, saying things like, oh, you're just overreacting, or no one will believe you, or you're just being crazy, are pretty common. And we saw that happening in the video that we watched on digital dating abuse. We saw the characters in the video saying things like, oh, you're just overreacting, I was just trying to show you off, after he had done something that really hurt his partner. So those are some common behaviors that we see. We also might see threats, so maybe threatening to harm the partner or threatening to harm themselves. A common behavior that we often see, especially in high schools and middle schools, is the abusive person saying something like, oh, well, if you ever leave me, I'm going to kill myself. And that can put their partner in a really frightening situation where they don't want to leave that relationship or end that relationship because they're concerned, justifiably, for their partner's safety. So what is a student to do in a situation like that? Typically, we recommend that we always want to take all words like that, all comments and words of maybe harming or killing oneself very, very, very seriously. So we want to make sure that we are, at that point, telling someone that we trust, maybe a trusted adult, a counselor, a parent, somebody that we trust. We're going to them and we are talking to them about that situation, and we're talking to them to make sure that they can get that person the help that they need, because it is very serious and we don't want to take it lightly. So make sure that we're getting somebody who can kind of step in and get that person the help that they need, but we're not feeling like we have to stay in a dangerous or an unhealthy situation in order to keep that person safe. So not feeling like we have to stay in that relationship, but definitely making sure that we are talking to someone about it and getting that person some help, because it is very scary and very, very serious. Maybe making them also trying to pressure or force them to do things that might be illegal is another common one. We also have sexual coercion, so manipulating or threatening their partner to do anything sexual that they don't want to do or they're not comfortable with. Maybe kind of trying to pressure them or guilt trip them into doing things that they don't really want to do, or controlling or lying about birth control or protection methods as well. So using isolation and exclusion, controlling what they can do, who they can see, who they can talk to, kind of trying to pull them away or isolate them from other people in their lives, such as their friends or their family. Kind of when we talked a little bit earlier about jealousy, it kind of is like letting jealousy escalate into a more controlling behavior. So using that jealousy against them to try to prevent them from doing things or seeing people that they want to do or see. And we also have peer pressure. So maybe threatening to expose secrets or rumors, Maybe they have personal or private information about their partner that they're threatening to expose or tell people. It could also include just telling lies about them or sharing private photos of them. We saw that happening in the video that we watched in the digital dating abuse section as well. So again, these are some common behaviors that we see. But obviously every relationship is different. And so these behaviors might not be the only way that abuse plays out in a relationship, but they are very common behaviors that we see in our work, especially among teens and young people. So as you look at these behaviors, what do you think? Have you seen these happen in other people's lives before? Do some of these seem more serious to you, or do some of them seem less serious? So, as mentioned, some relationships might have most of these behaviors happening. Some of them might just have one or two of these behaviors, and some relationships might look entirely different. So in some abusive relationships, we see different types of patterns happening. Sometimes we see a pattern of the more emotional or psychological types of abuse continuing on and escalating into physical or sexual abuse. In other abusive relationships, we only see the emotional abuse happening, and it never actually gets physical. And over time, that emotional abuse can also take a huge, huge toll on people. And in some relationships, maybe the emotional abuse never happens and it's only physical or only sexual or some combination of all different types. So all relationships are different, all relationships are unique. But no matter the type of abuse, these behaviors are all harmful and all can be used in different ways to have a lot of harm that plays out in that person's relationship. So we also have a link here to a relationship spectrum tool from loveisrespect.com. So go ahead and in a minute pause this video and click the link to go to loveisrespect.com, and the link will take you straight to that tool. So just kind of go through, check to see how your ideas of whether behaviors are healthy or unhealthy or abusive match what the people at Love Is Respect think. So go ahead and pause this, click that link, spend a couple of minutes kind of looking at that, and then go ahead and come back here. Okay, so by this time you should have gone over that relationship spectrum tool. So how was that experience for you? Did your answers match the answers that were on the website? Did you agree with those answers and the reasons for them, or do you maybe have some more questions? Just a reminder, if you do have questions or want more clarification, we're more than happy to go over that with you.